This video is sponsored by Gamos Metal Cruise 2023. Hardcore punk time here in Rauta, not your typical reviews of metal and whatnot, not especially extreme metal like death metal and black metal. This one is volume number 2, shown you what's up volume 2. And here you can see pretty much Vienna Style Empire Hardcore Syndicate. Now, I'm not really familiar with hardcore punk except for bands here and there, songs here and there, etc, etc. Never been my cup of tea because I've never been so much into punk music. That's something that we've discussed plenty of times on Rauta Discord and some of the streams and what have you. However, that doesn't mean that certain bands, especially when they're more on the hardcore punk side, flirting or being somewhat crossover metal, I mean, there are bands which just resonate with, well, at least at very least, certain songs, certain artists, etc. Body Count, I guess, is pretty much the closest, and certain Suicidal Tendencies ones, which I guess could be considered as crossover metal, crossover hardcore punk kind of things. But mostly, neither of that stuff is not for me. But like I said, exceptions happen. And this one is a curious one. I'm not gonna even show you any kind of a band side for this one because this is a compilation, which you can here see features some 18 tracks of different bands. There's no point to just showcase you any certain band side because that would only give you a short, small glimpse of what's it all about. As you can see, this one is kind of a big digiback with glossy cover, lots of photos of tattoos and what have you, and it looks nice. But what is more important, this is actually quite a high quality one when it comes to metallic hardcore punk attitude. Here it says peace, love, unity and respect, not something that resonates with a lot of people in the extreme metal, but it's very common on this kind of stuff, and I must say it fits. What is also fascinating is that this one is mostly just good bands, and as you can see, this is kind of a almost like a sampler in the sense that you have these QR codes, how modern, with these bands which are here, each represented by logo and name and that kind of stuff. And most of these bands are very heavy, they are groovy, and they get right to the point rather than just going extra long, extra lengthy songs, which is something that I loathe, or at least very least dislike so often in my favorite genres. So this is very refreshing take to listen to this kind of stuff when you just go in for some 3 minutes a track and that's gone. Now, having 18 songs in total and about 45 minutes, if I recall correctly, for the overall length, that kind of proves that these songs are quickly in and out and it leaves you with a good taste. Now, there are certain bands, I'm not gonna go into individual naming, which are not that good, but those are more like exceptions rather than overall quality with this compilation. My point here being, this is very heavy, this is very metallic, but still very much to the core of hardcore punk. So if you're looking to find some new bands, something which you're maybe not that familiar, because otherwise you probably are not even watching this review video, there are some bands you totally should be checking out because a lot of these bands, most of these ones on this compilation are rather good one. It always like picks my brain like, hey, maybe I should be checking out a lot of these bands because overall this compilation is a good one. It's just something like gives you a lot of power and pump. I mean, I could totally imagine doing my workout sets with stuff like this. Good sound, solid production all the way through, powerful vocals, good attitude and all that stuff. Even if I'm not as positive and, you know, maybe human loving as a lot of these bands are, I can still kind of get to the very point of thing like respect and, well, in a way, peace and all that stuff as well. I mean, who wants war to begin with unless you're a real edgelord and shit like that? So, If you're not up for some hardcore punk, you can totally skip this one. But if you ever had some kind of a soft for bands like these or style like these, hardcore punk, this is a compilation you should be checking into. Worth your time, worth your money. That's all. Respect. Rauta out.